And good morning and welcome to Touch Base Daily. My name is Ron Foster, touching base with you as I do every day during the week and sometimes during the weekend if I'm roaming around the city. How are you all doing? It is a new week. It is the second week of April already. Wow. It is the 7th, April 7th. First of all, I hope everyone had a nice weekend. I did. It was very productive and I was glad to have projects to work on this weekend. And this one project is taking a long time because I took a lot of photos. So that was great. But I did take some time to break away and join my community as they welcomed our mayor to our neighborhood. And that was an experience. It was a packed house, which was like, I didn't know that people loved them that much still. So they showed up and showed out here in Clinton Hill, Fort Greene, and they love their mayor. They love him, and I was like, wow, what a turnout! I'm shocked. I don't know why I was shocked, but and then he also took time out to apologize to the neighborhood. Now, people don't know this about Mayor Adams and his connection to Clinton Hill. He used to be in charge of I guess he was a sergeant of patrol here in Clinton Hill. So he is been a part of Clinton Hill, Fort Greene, but mainly Clinton Hill for what we call the 88 precinct. He's been in our community a very long time, even before he became borough president for Brooklyn. So yeah, so that's the connection. So the people love him. He's always been there for this community, and they showed up and showed out for him yesterday. And so anyway, congratulations to Mayor Eric Adams for all the love that he received from this community yesterday. So how you guys doing? I see some folks in the building. Let me say good morning. It is a good morning to Jazzy Jazz. She's the first person in the building today. She gets the gold. She says, good morning, beautiful people. Mr. Brian Young is in the building. He says, fam, what up, dude? What up, Doe? What's going on? And we have the wonderful Anthony Roland is in the building with the bronze. And he says, good morning. And then we have the wonderful Lisa. Morning, everyone. She says, we have Elise in the building. Good morning, everyone. And Lisa said, he is not going to win. I don't, this is very, I'm like, I don't know who's going to win because I know that there's a lot of people in this city that seem to really love Eric Adams. However, I know there are a lot of people that love Cuomo. And then there's a new gentleman, I forget his name, but he's a Muslim gentleman, and he is also running, and he is getting a lot of traction. So I don't know who's going to win, and I'm not endorsing anyone. So, but I just don't. I can tell you one person I don't want to win, or I don't think should win. I think Cuomo should not be running. It's just my opinion. I have a problem with people that just don't know how to go back into they got to stay in the public view. They just can't, they cannot just, okay, I was the governor. I did it good. I did a great job at it. And then move on to something else, write a book, help charities, help support other governments, help local governments, do something with all that experience. I don't think he should be running for mayor of New York City, especially when he was the governor. And it was just kind of, it puts a strain on the relationship between New York and Albany, New York City and Albany, because Hochul used to be his lieutenant governor, and now Hochul is the governor, which means she will technically be his boss. And Cuomo's from the old school and the old guard. I don't know how good that's going to work. And for the first time, we do have a great relationship between Albany and New York City with Mayor Adams. So, and we also had it with the last mayor. So, but before that, we used to have wars between our governor and our mayor, and that did not fare well for our city. So that's just my opinion based on some facts. Why I don't think Cuomo should be running, but he is running and he is in the bidding, and so every man, person has an opportunity to run for the mayorship. Um, but I really do like I gotta find his name. If someone can help me out. The Muslim gentleman. I think he's from. I want to say he's from India. I think he's either Indian or Turkish. I can't remember which one. Um, but that's my opinion. Um, I also feel the same way. I mean Eric Adams. I love Eric Adams, but I'm not sure if the people are going to trust him in a way that he needs to have the trust. But I here in New York, here in Clinton Hill for Green, they really showed love for him yesterday. So I don't know who's going to win this one, but I think it's going to be close. I see Elise says, I hope that he doesn't get reelected. I hear you on that because we had that conversation, Elise. And I really thought Eric was out. I thought he was done. I was like, whoa. But yesterday was like, wait a minute here. I may have to reevaluate my thinking here. Bryson says, "What's up, Ron? What's up, RLP fam? What's up, CQ fam? Happy money making Monday. It's not just a new month, it's a new week. It's rainy day outside. Yes, it is. It is a rainy day here in New York City. But I do like rainy days because it forced me to work. Like I'm not like, oh my gosh, I want to be outside. So I had a great rainy work weekend this past weekend, and it was great. Mimi says, good morning, Ron and RLP crew. Lisa says, I believe Cuomo is going to win. And Bryson says, what up, Jazzy? What's up, Lisa? What's up, Elise? Okay. Elise says, the current governor doesn't seem to favor Adams. I think she's stuck in a rock and a hard place. Because again, the past of New York City's past of not being able to get along with the governor has been kind of like decades of problems with that. However, she and Adams get along. They do get along, and he respects her as the governor of the state. So, and then obviously he had his situations, and then she couldn't get into it because she does respect their connection. They do have a good working connection. So that's just saying. So there you go. There you have it. Why it's a struggle for Hogle. I see here. I'm just gonna go through some of these. Lisa says, I didn't see any YouTube people at your function. Any YouTube people? Is that YT YouTube or YT something? Oh, there were a lot of them. That's why I was shocked. There were a lot sitting behind me. I was in the front, but there were people in the back. And if you saw the photos I put up, there were a lot that I was able to photograph with the mayor. Yes, I got it. YT, I got it. Elise says Adam has been bought by Trump. Yes, that seems to be where it is. At least that's what it appears, and it feels that way. And again, like I said, that whole situation with Trump doesn't fare good. And I don't think, you know, I think I want something new. I'm just saying. I'm not endorsing anyone, but I do feel like I want a new person. So, good morning, Bryson. And Elise says, good morning, Jazzy. I see the good mornings in here. And Janet's in the building. She says, greetings all. Kaz says, blessed and motivated Monday all. Yes, make sure you guys hit the likes. Make sure you hit the like button. Smash the likes. I learned that terminology from another platform. Smash the like. Smash the like button. And exactly, Lisa. I remember my brain went back and I said, oh yeah, I do remember that YT. I do know what that stands for. And it's not YouTube. And then I thought about it. I was like, wait, it's coming. It's coming. Yes, I remember. Thank you, Lisa. Janet says, Governor has the shadow of Brian Benjamin and is not known in New York City. Plus, the border czar has been to New York City. Yes. Yeah, she does have the shadows of Brian Benjamin, but she did still pick a man. The lieutenant governor, I do believe, is from. Is he Dominican? I think he's Dominican, isn't he? Or is he just totally a black guy? So she still kept a black guy, a person of color, on her team. So there you have it on lieutenant government. Kimmy is in the building. So last night, speaking of Kimmy, and last night we had a great night in our game night. So for those that don't know, we have our game night on Thursdays. Sorry, Sunday, Wednesday, and Fridays at 11:30 p.m. And then we shut it down by 1 a.m. And you're like, Ron, is up all over the place. But we have a lot of fun. And Chrissy's corner, Chrissy was the MVP again last night. So she was MVP on Sunday, and she was MVP on last night. And especially when it came to the word that we all get, the game that we totally get into is spelling bee. Spelling bee, everyone participates. People are putting stuff in, like, it's just a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun on our game nights, and it's a great way to just relax. And then everybody says goodbye, good night, and then we go to sleep. Let's see here. Lisa says he's Afro Latino. I thought so, and but I'm not sure what country. Thank you. And Brian says I missed it. Yes, it was a lot of fun last night. So. And obviously, if it's in the West Coast, you guys are not going to bed. You're probably still up when we go to bed on the East Coast. But it was a lot of fun. And also, what happened this weekend? Let's share. So this weekend was the weekend of protest. New York's protest, April 5th. Not only New York, but all over the country, all capitals all over the nation. They said there was an estimated 5 million people that were out this weekend on Saturday. 5 million. They were only expecting around 600,000 that signed up for the hands-off rally across the country. 5 million people showed up around the country. 5 million. That's a lot of people. But like I said, when it hits 30 million, this is my own target. I think when you hit 30 million, when you get 10% of the population out, then you're saying something. But this is great momentum. 5 million people is nothing to sneeze at. That is a great number. That was huge. A lot of folks came out. I mean, New York City, I did not go out. My friend, one of my photographer buddies said, Ron, are you going out today? Are you going out? I said, well, first of all, I have work to do, so I can't go because I have to edit photos. But I am also of the mindset that I did my part. Not to say I'm not gonna do I do my part also every day. I repost stuff. I'm doing the behind the scenes stuff when it comes to these rallies. But I am not going to I for those that don't know, when you are a photographer and you are on the streets in the crowd, it's hard work. It's not you just, oh, I'm just taking pictures. No, it is work because you are surrounded by so many energies, different people, the yelling, the some people are angry, some people have joy. I mean, you there's all sorts of dynamics going on in street protests. So I said, I am not joining, I'm not in the streets. I am not doing the streets. One, I just came off surgery a month and a half ago. So I was like, you know what, Ron, sit this one out, do your work, stay home. I was even invited to one of my clients had my clients, which is the Scottish Chamber, invited me to do because they had a parade also on Saturday, and they invited me to hang out on the float and just enjoy the time together with them. I was like, no, if you want your pictures on time, I better stay home. So I even reneged on that. But the folks were out. The folks were out, and let me see if I can get. Let me see. Oh, this is another photo of this is Yosemite Park, and they were protesting there and saying they want their parks back. So there were a lot of people out. There were a lot of people, and then let me go further. There's more. Here's Hands Off in New York City. Is another protester sharing and talking, and they're just. I mean, there was people everywhere. I mean, literally, they said you can from I think it was 22nd Street, 21st Street, all the way up to 42nd Street. That's 20 blocks, a 20-block stretch of packed people in New York City. And that wasn't it didn't just include that, but at 42nd Street, going across from east to west, there were people. So this was huge. New York City showed up, and a lot of people came out. And again, when I looked across and looked at Chicago, I looked at Boston, I looked at Minneapolis, I looked at Austin, Texas, I looked at LA. There were people out all over the country. So hopefully people are realizing, and I said this before, you heard me say it here last year after the election, there is no more Democrats and Republicans. Those days are gone. It's democracy, autocracy, right and wrong on the side of right of history or wrong in history. We are no longer in the age of parties. Those days are gone. It is good, bad, autocracy, democracy. Yeah. So those days are gone. I mean, obviously for local elections, they exist, but as a nation, those days are gone because people that were Republicans are they are not Republicans any longer because that is a mega party. And then now what we're seeing a chipping away of the MAGA folks. Some of them, the ones that are not buried in the cult, are waking up and saying, wait a minute, I wasn't on board with this. But like some folks said, y'all were okay with it long as it didn't touch y'all, right? Long as it didn't touch them, they were okay with seeing black and brown people being hurt. But now it's hurting them, so they're waking up. So, I don't give any applause to them. I mean, you should have known better in the first place. This is about good and bad, right? I see in here, let me see. Oh, there's some more good mornings here. Okay, hold on a second. Kimmy says, uh-oh. Here we go. Sorry, hold on a second. Let me get Kimmy says, I had fun. I thought of a word this morning for spelling bee. It was over by this morning. Mimi said, it was huge, huge. Jazzy says, if I speak, way for them. Yay for them. Yay for them. Warren's in the building. Hey, Warren. Good morning, fam. And Janet says, 100%. Anthony says, I consider going out to document with my camera, but the weather was bad. Yes, right. You guys are having bad weather in the the mid section of the country. Janice said, "Let's see how these crowds translate to future elections." I'm with you with that because you know what? I've been bamboozled by these people before. Look, they act like they're with us, but they are. When they get to the polling booth, we'll see. Brian says, good to see the marches. However, we warned them we wouldn't be here if they would have listened to us. Lisa says, at this point, we have to be careful out of these streets because they are definitely sending innocent people to foreign countries as prisoners and not getting them back. This is true. There's lots of people that have been scooped up. Scooped up. Jaddy says, Janet, that part. And Dr. Tice says, good morning. Good morning. Elise says, good morning, Janet. We definitely have to see how it impacts future elections. I see you. I hear you. Elise says, I.C. Adams is now an independent. Yes, he is. He has gone to the independent side. And they say it's because he doesn't have enough time to gear up for the Democratic primary. That's what they're saying. Lisa says, are these a wolf in sheep's clothing? He knows he's still a wolf. That's Lisa saying, tells the World Food Program. He's such okay. I just saw a headline come on. Jaddy says, I hate to say it, but this is performative to me. It's good to see them starting to get it, but we need actual action behind these protests. I agree. I am not busting my butt out there with these folks. Jazzy says, Lisa says, Jazzy, target. Yes. Lisa says, exactly. Jazzy says, yes, 100%. Dr. Tachi says, exactly. This is all very nice, but I need to see what happens after the marches. That's right. A lot of people just going out there for their video. People are just going to get on their TikTok. So there's a lot of reasons why people are out there. But so Brian says it was packed, Fo. And Elise says, I agree, Jazzy. Let's not forget the pink pussy hats. Remember those? Some of them still vote for him. Yes, right. And Warren says, I was there with my daughter in the Rochester protest, and my guess was 3,000 to 4,000 people, and it was a busy. I was so proud of her and her desire to be a part of change for her generation. Yes, I think it's great that the kids are out there, get the kids involved. However, I want y'all all to notice something. Now, I don't know if because the protests were too big, but this has been trending online all Sunday, all day yesterday. Notice in all of these protests, where are the police? When there were Black people protesting and young people protesting, you have police in riot gear everywhere, protesting, getting in their face, stopping them, harassing them. No police. As I keep these things rolling, there are no police officers anywhere to be found. All over the country, there are no police officers. Someone says, one commentator said, because there's no Black people. Because the people that did not show up to these rallies were Black people. There were some sprinkled. They were sprinkled in, but the Black people of America did not participate as a mass, as a collective in Saturday's rally. Well, there was no heartfelt anger towards Black people that they didn't show up. The white people that they interviewed were like, I understand. The white people were like, I understand. I now understand. Because there was one trending video where the white woman was on saying, I can't believe it. We did not see any police officers. And for the first time, her little light bulb went on. And she said, oh my gosh, this is real. This is real. And she was like, going on and on about it. I was like, well, finally it's better to be woke. She's awakening. She says, we did this march and I did not see not one police officer. Not one officer anywhere. I was like, wow. She woke up. She saw the reality. When it's Black and brown people on the streets, the police are there. One young lady, Black girl, her TikTok video, she was emotional because of it. She goes, oh my God, there were no police officers. And she says, oh my God, they really hate us. They really hate us. I almost like in my mind, I'm like, girl, you should have known this is a fact. But she was a young Black girl and she was like, I can't believe this. They really hate us. So there you have it. Lisa says TikTok. Jazzy, Dr. Taji says, let me get there. Hold on a second. Jazzy says, Jazzy, yes, this is pure Broadway theater protest, the musical. They need to show us that this is a lifestyle, not an act. As Jazzy says, exactly, Elise. That's all this moment is to them. Dr. Tachi, protest the musical, new slogan. Jazzy says, Tachi, the way I just hollered. Bryson says, it's been trending all over the internet. Did y'all see that purple t-shirt that Target put out? They said, thank you, Black women. They need to go ahead and put that thing on clearance, says Elisa. It's a little too late, right? A little too late. Elise says, exactly. Let us go out there and the police would be out there in riot gear. That's what we saw through Black Lives Matter. That's what we saw when people were standing up for rights. No difference. People are protesting. There's no police officers anywhere. I mean, there's been footage all over the country and not one police officer. And if there was a police officer, they truly wasn't in riot gear. Tells you something. Jazzy says, chilly. We all know where the police were, chilling. Janet says, it's tough to find us in these films. Yep, you don't see any Black people. I mean, there's like one or two. But most of the folks in most of these videos, it's majority white or Hispanic. But the Black folks are staying home. The Black folks are like, wait a minute. We ain't going out there. Y'all want us to come out. One person, y'all, they want us to come out so they can get in riot gear and cause martial and start martial law. But look at the reality. Jazzy says, how could there be anger towards us? We didn't do it. Literally. That's right. Jazzy says, two Americas. Two Americas. Dr. Tai says, well, the feeling is mutual because I don't like them either. Janet says, Elise, that. Lisa says, silly, not a t-shirt. Jazzy says, Elise says, Jazzy, 100%. But isn't that something? I mean, look, I keep going. You know me. I went through all of these, Well, this is my girl. That was from yesterday. I posted. Yeah. So this is where I learned the YT from this lady, this girl right here. This is the one that was talking about. Let me just let you hear what she had to say.
I know.
Let me.
But that one kind of felt like slapping face, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not wishing anything on anybody, but in 2020, when we were protesting, I went to a protest where you literally could not set foot on the road without being arrested. As soon as you put your foot on the gravel, they jumped on you, arrested you, and put you in a truck they had sitting there with all the people that were arrested. Again, we know it's just, damn, to see it so. I did not expect this. I did not expect to be so angry about this. They really hate us. God damn. To go so far as to protect, I think that's a good thing. It's just something exclusively experienced by white people. So I'm gonna have to go process this. But yeah, that one stung.
While I was listening to her video, it reminded me of this picture right here. A Black woman in a dress walking on the street. And this is the response they gave her. Let's not forget how the police respond when Black people are in the streets. We didn't see any of that yesterday. I didn't see any police officers with shields. Did you? Nor were they shooting tear gas at the crowd. Just look at the police presence. At a peaceful protest, this is what we get when we go out there. And yesterday, barely see any police. Where's the police? These people weren't met with violence. We are, even when we are peaceful. This is why the Black community is saying that they're trying to bait us into the streets, because they want to enact violence on us so that he can declare martial law, so that he could become king. Us sitting home is not only helping the Black community rest, but it's also saving America. Even when we don't do anything, we still help America. But man, seeing all those protests yesterday, what was it, like 1,400? Not be met with the same police force and violence does make Black people go, see, y'all motherfuckers hate us. Y'all do. We know this. But seeing it, it's a whole different vibe. But y'all.
So you get it. I mean, I was like, this has been trending. This has been trending all yesterday. Many Black people are taking notice and like saying, wait a minute, where were the police? They definitely were. And the ones that were there, the few that you did see, the very few, had no riot gear, no pepper sprays, no shields. This is real. And it's something to really think about. But I just wanted to make sure you saw these videos because I thought they were very important. And they definitely, it's trending, and it is something that we as Black Americans know this is the reality. We know that this is the reality. But what our white counterparts, our white brothers and sisters are noticing and saying, the ones that are, supporting what we do here and what we do in the country, they're like, wait a minute. Wow. This is different. This is different. Two Americas. Chris Edwards is in the building, y'all. He says, we stayed our black ass at home. I made Saturday a date day. Elise said, all Baldwin said, for us to be conscious in America is to be enraged all the time. Lee says, no police or National Guard. You would think with all those people, right? 5 million people across the country. Warren says, well, did somebody send a notice out to the police that there was not going to be any Black people? there, and they can just stay home and take the day off. It could be just that they underestimated it. Oh no, they didn't know. The memo was out. Many Black platforms, most Black people around the country said they were not going to show up. That the memo was out. The memo was out a long time ago. A lot of Black people across the country decided weeks ago, months ago, after the election, when Black women said, the 92% said, we are just going to sit back and do what we need to do on the sidelines, but we are not putting our bodies and our minds and our energies in this time around. We will not do it. Then became a movement where Black men also said, well, our Black women are not doing it. We ain't doing it either. And then it just started to trend through our community. People saying, you know what? We ain't going out. Roland Martin had it on his show. People, you saw it all over it trending in the Black community and Black internet platforms, social media platforms. People had already declared. So the memo was out there. And I'm sure there are Black police officers that are out there that say, hey guys, Black folks ain't showing up. This ain't gonna be their thing. That's the reality. Chris said, yes, they hate us. Kimmy says, honestly, they are keeping the stereotype going. Lisa says, so why didn't our Black mayor provide police? No one provided police, not just here. It's across the country. Jazzy says, to be a Negro in this country and to be relatively conscious is to be in a state of rage almost all of the time, says James Baldwin. This quote for me. And Dr. Ty says, all this only is effective if people do not go back to business as usual once the scourge is dismantled. Okay. Bryson says, what's up, Tachi? And Lee says, in the building. And Jazzy says, Lee's, yep, that's exactly my first thought. The police weren't set at home. Bryce says, hey, Bryce, okay. And Anthony says, a notice wasn't sent. Most Black people made it abundantly clear that we're staying home. It's nationwide. Yep. The memo was we have our silent memos. Lisa says, and the white tees are the ones that be crashing out, but no police though. Brian says, Jazzy, that is my constant James Baldwin quote. Janet says, Lisa, our Black mayor is taking marching orders from 4547. See, there's a lot of Black people that don't like James, Mayor Eric Adams. And there are, but again, like I said, there are some people in this city that like him, that love him. Okay, so today is also a Motivation Monday. So we'll do our Motivation Monday, but I just wanted to share that with you guys. Wow, we spent our mornings just greeting and going through these. But I just wanted to share with you the protests. The protests were amazing. I mean, it was absolutely great. I was very moved to see so many people out there. And but again, I feel two ways. I feel like I'm two people in this matter. I feel like I'm glad that I saw people out there, but I am like many of you. I want to see what the results are going to be long term, because it's one thing to get out when you got a lot of folks with you out there, right? It's an easy task, but it's a different task when people need to go and vote. So I feel like I've been bamboozled. I thought, during the elections that people, in the white community were going to white women. I thought, well, surely white women were going to vote against Trump. And unfortunately, 53% of them voted for Trump. So I feel bamboozled. I was let down. So I will not put any faith or trust in what's going on. Only that I'm happy to see people are doing something. Just my opinion. Lisa says maybe the people from Brooklyn like him because they have an intimate relationship with him because he was their borough president. I do believe that's true, Lisa. But me and my homegirls, no thanks. I do believe there's a connection because he was our borough president. Jazzy says, I'd much rather none in the streets and them doing the work. I'll say it. I don't trust them. Oof, that was rough. That was to the point. Elise says, I want to see how the elections taking place this year turn out. You got to show it in your voting. Until I see every freaking Republican or by name that's really a MAGA person voted out, it means nothing. That's what it comes down to. Okay. Where do we go from here? Okay, so that was that. I just wanted to share it. I wanted to bring it to your attention. It was in the highlights. As in the other subject of the day, well, you know what that is, right? Let me stop this one. And just so you can kind of give you a little lesson here. Hopefully this will help you guys as this is going to be in the news every day. So might as well share something with you guys. So the market right now, hold on a second. Let's go here. Let's see so the Dow has been moving all over the place today. And so you can check so how low will it go? We don't know. I just know this morning out the gate, it was down as far as 1,700. It was down 1,700 in the opening. It is now down only 900. So I don't know how good that is, but 900 is still bad. But it is down. It is down. And I was sharing with Chris and just some of these, something to think about. If you want to understand where the market's going, like say, the market doesn't open till 9:30, right? Here in the America, the 9:30 here on the East Coast. The New York Stock Exchange opens at 9:30. But you want an indication of what the market is going to do? Here's a good method for you. Just so for those that are interested, this is just a little trivia, it's just giving you some information. So this is what I was taught when I was at the stock exchange. So when you see this number, like the S&P 500 is the futures. It's called the futures. And it's indicating what's coming. And so if you want to know where the market is before the opening, you want to just get a slight indication. You go to S&P 500, you take this number and you times it by 12. Now the S&P is down 135 points right now, right? So you would think the market would be in alignment with that. We'll have to see. It's probably going to become in alignment later on. But if you take that number and times it by 12, that's usually what the market's going to be. Well, that's what the market is trending to be. So take the S&P 500, times it by 12, and there you have the market. Okay, so that's the number there. So here we are. So that's the S&P 500. And that's what's happening. But the Dow Jones is down 911. And also for all you wonderful people that have been following, we talked about this last night. Gold is down, but it's up. But it went up, but it's coming down a little bit. And we were talking about the gold futures and the gold. and how people, I did not know this until Kramer was on Thursday on CNN. And I didn't know you can buy gold at Costco's. And I am a member of Costco's, but you can buy gold at Costco's. For those that are interested in buying gold, when the market is taking a crash, gold usually rises. Just so you know, these are just little bits of information to help you along the way. However, that does not mean commodities are doing well, because commodities are doing badly this morning. One is because crude oil, just kind of give you some, crude oil is down, and people in Texas, in those states like Texas, do not like to see the crude oil going down because they're not making money. However, as we remember, during the COVID crisis, the pandemic, the crude oil dropped tremendously because why? Lack of economic growth. So usually when you see a slowdown in the economy, crude oil goes down and many other commodities go down as well. Commodities are like wheat, rice, obviously oil, so all of those, anything you can get out the ground from some ground resource or from the land or landscape, or those are commodities. Sugar, commodities, things that are grown, tangibles, grown, those are called commodities. Okay, just to give you a little bit of financial information that may help you in the future, as because you're going to be seeing this on the news pretty much every day. So just kind of like help you out with the lingo and the language. So commodities, anything that's out the ground, sugar, and we use it. All the spices are part of commodities. Cinnamon is a commodity. Vanilla is a commodity. So those are all commodities traded on the commodity exchange. Okay, there's an exchange for everything. Okay, so that way you just know. Just give you some information. Any questions? Any questions while we're on this subject? I just thought it would be good since look, I spent 15 years at the stock exchange. I mean, I got a little knowledge. I got a little bit of knowledge. So I can help you there. Let's see here. Bryson says, hold on a second. I'm gonna remove this. Bryson says, so just in that target to close all 1978 stores for 24 hours doing the blackout. What is that? Bryson, I need more information. I don't know what that is. Okay. Let's see here. I want the elections to take place. Lisa, you are. Oh, Janet says, Lisa, you are on the money about Brooklyn's connection for Adams. He was a good borough president. Dr. Tachi says, was Adams a good borough president? He was a very good borough president. I have to say he was. Elise Stalwart says, when we see the red state legislature change from being controlled by Republicans, extremists, then we will know these folks have changed. Yes. Anthony Rowland says, options trading has been dollars on the decline. As a matter of fact, that's where I spent my years. I used to work at the American Stock Exchange, the option exchange, over the counter. Yes, that was my job for 15 years. And so that's why I lived those years on Wall Street. And Lisa says, and this dude is golfing. Yes, the orange man is golfing while all this is going on. Janet says, Dr. Tachi, he was invisible to those of us outside of Brooklyn. The Brooklyn machine has had problems over the years. Yeah, I would say he is definitely connected to Brooklyn. I would agree with you. Kimmy says, really, Bryson Leach, if so, just change the date of the next Target boycott, Walmart boycott this week. Yes, y'all. Did y'all see that? I know I posted it in the my stories. This week is Walmart's boycott. Yes, so no Walmart, no Walmart. Derek T is in the building. Derek T Tuggle is in the building. Okay. And Elise says, good morning, good morning, good morning. I see all the good mornings to Derek. Okay. Kim for the Easter blackout. Ooh, there's an Easter blackout coming. Hit the likes, guys. Please do. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. Hit the likes. Smash the likes. Smash it. Hit the like. Hit the likes. That's how the algorithms know that you are interested in this platform. Okay. Thank you for that, says Jazzy. Jazzy says, Target will never see another dollar for me. A lot of people are not going back to Target. That is for sure. Target made a fatal mistake. And speaking of Target, let's see where their stock is. Target is T. Target is trading. Oh, that's not it. That's the wrong one. Let me get that. TRG. Target is TRG. I forgot Target symbol. Okay, let me just use the other thing. Target. Okay, Target Corporation. There we go. TGT. TGT is they're getting killed this year. Holy moly. Target started out in the beginning of this year in January at near $175. Well, let's get the exact one. $171 a share. With this sell-off and people boycotting, it is down to $92. Whew. That's huge loss. Target's going to be laying off people. Target will be closing stores. They will have no choice but to start closing some stores. At $92, right now it's $91 a share. Yeah, that's not good. But for those that don't think boycotting works, the number says it. I can just show you where. Let me just show you just quickly. Look at that. Look at that stock movement. Look at that. It was here. See that line? You see me moving this little ruler here? That's called a slider. And I can do where these lines intersect. But that's too much Wall Street stuff for you guys. Well, not for all of you. But look at that number. It was at 171 a year ago. If you go to just 6 months ago, where it was 6 months ago, right? At 161, and it just keeps dropping. And it's all the way down to 92 right now. And if you want to go from where the boycott started right here in February. So that's where it was at 144, and now it's at 92. Okay, so Target's been on a really bad, Target, they should have never agreed. They should have never, ever sided with Trump. Okay, I don't want to bore you. I don't want to bore you. Hopefully that's not boring to you, but I just want to educate you if I can, because you're going to see a lot of this in the news. Target will never see another dollar. Good for Target. I'm still not shopping at Target. Yeah, a lot of people are not going back. People of color are not going back. And some white people are not going back. Lisa says, so apparently a bunch of stores are closing for 24 hours. Okay, we got that in. F them stores. This is good information, Ron. Thank you, Dr. Tachi. And just want to educate you guys, because you're going to see a lot of this. But I'm a believer of using current situations to educate. Because normally you're not going to be, in a normal world before this happened, the stock market would not be in your face every day, right? So I try to use these opportunities to educate you. So that way, as you are listening to this information, you're able to process it and digest it better. So that's why I bring it up. So that way you can have an understanding of how the market works and how these graphs work. Like I told you, when I was in college, my professor was like, "You are a chartist," because I study how to analyze companies in college in my economics. So it is very important to me. It helps me indicate where things are going. It helps me to figure out stuff. Like, for instance, all you folks that are saying, "Oh my gosh," then it must be that the um, Bitcoin, the crypto industry is doing well. The crypto has lost 18% of its value in the last week. So crypto is doing worse than the market. So if you are in the crypto world, a lot of your crypto is going down and going down big. I know because I have crypto and I lost 18% in the last 2 days. 18% of the value. The market has only lost roughly, well, now with today included, so it's about almost even. So the market's down about 16% since last week, since the beginning of all this. So we are in a pickle. We're in a pickle when it comes to this economy. Bryson says, so Target will be closing down for the, okay, we got that. Why does that keep popping up? Something's wrong with my board here. It keeps going back. This happened last night when we were playing our game. So there must be something wrong with the sliders here. Lisa Sealy says, it's for Easter, not retaliatory move. I just read it. Chris says, they are closing for Easter Sunday. Oh, how special is that? Why not? They're not making any money. Jazzy says, Tachi, right? Walmart was never getting any coins. Chris says, I was a Target shopper for over 20 years and I haven't stepped foot in one since the beginning of the new year. I will never go back. Target is done on. They're gonna have to start laying off people. Remember Circuit City? Y'all remember that company called Circuit City back in the day? Yeah. Retailers come and go. Bryson says, yeah, same thing as Walmart, Sam's Club, and some stores will be closing on Easter Sunday. I wonder why. Because retailers do not like to close. They don't care about holidays. I used to work at a retailer, and they did not care about the holidays. Dr. Ty says, Chris Edwards, they better be closing to go and repent in church. Lisa says, that's hilarious. Poor Target. Anthony Rowland says, Adobe is next on the chopping block. The HR chief, an Asian woman, tells staff, we're done with DEI hiring goals. Really? Adobe? Yeah, may have to start looking at other resources for. It doesn't work. I don't understand the stupidity. Your company does best under diversity. What makes your company grow strong? Think about all of the top companies before this whole DEI situation happened. The best companies in the world had DEI policies because diversity is so important. Diversity is so important. You need many brains around the table. America, the world, is made of people of color. The majority of the people in the world are people of color. It's never a good bet to go against diversity, equity. Like, everyone should be equal. Everyone should have opportunity and inclusiveness. Be inclusive to all. Going against that is just not smart for business. Adobe, I'm so disappointed with Adobe. So disappointed with Adobe. Mimi is in the building. What's going on, Mimi? Okay, guys, hit the likes again. Hit the likes if you're just joining. Lisa says, Anthony, what is wrong with minorities supporting this mess? So crazy. I don't know how anyone of color stands for this. Bryce says, and that's why we get things at Amazon. Well, Amazon is also in the brig. Is in the brig. I have a limit. I'm almost getting ready. I'm near the end. Near the end to cancel Amazon. Lisa Seeley, exactly. Anthony, that's because the government has them believing that they are not a part of DEI. Yeah, they brainwashed them. As he said, sheesh. Derek says, yes, it's sinking fast. Kemi says, there will be a whole evolution of the way people shop. Many companies are and will be pressured to stop DEI as time goes on. Yes, I was reading an article of a company. It was a small company that had to go through their website and take out everything DEI, because what they're doing is somehow they're doing, I guess, AI, some kind of AI search for everything that has DEI in it. And because of the funding, or there's some penalties that are now associated with having DEI in your company's website. But there are some other companies that are being creative. Like, I was in a meeting with a bunch of executives 2 weeks ago, and they said, we are keeping our DEI programs, but we're renaming them. We're changing the language so we can still have diversity, equity, and inclusiveness, but we are giving it another title. So there are some companies that are doing what's called a workaround, keeping their DEI programs, but because they know online, if through these AI bots and searching mechanisms, they can find your company with the DEI in it, and then they fine you for having DEI in your website. So there are people working around it, though. There are some people that are saying we are not longer DEI, but we're doing DEI initiatives, but another word. So that is something to be noted. I was in a meeting 2 weeks ago, and I actually heard several CEOs talking about it. Kimmy says there will be a whole evolution of the way people shop. We got that one. Lisa says, what about this crypto and this $5 million US entry cards? Y'all, crypto is not doing well. So I don't know what, I mean, people that think they're going to get into crypto, they're crazy right now. Mimi says ETFs, y'all, ETFs. Chris says, yep. Elise says, Target has been closing for most holidays for the last few years. Well, most people started closing on holidays after the pandemic. So a lot of retailers that were open are where they start doing away with their opening on holidays and weekends. Jazzy says Circus City was my favorite place to go as a kid. It certainly was. It was my favorite too. One of my TVs came from there. 2 of my TVs came from there. Chris Edwards says Target could do no wrong until they sided with the Orange Menace. Chris says also, I got rid of Adobe last year. He did. I know. He's been recommending stuff to me. Chris says canceled all my subscriptions. Dr. Tali says, don't try and get all resurrection. Sunday is all on us now because you're hurting fools. Dr. Tosh, so Elise says, Costco has always closed for most holidays for years. It is not new for them. No, it isn't. And, speaking of Costco's, sis, I got to bring this to your attention. And the reason why this is so important, because this was also in the news when it comes to this. Here we go. Cost. There we go. Now, I want you to see something. Let me just go with the 6 months chart. Now, this is interesting. Again, this is why I don't understand why the companies that are doing it. Look at Costco's. Costco's 6 months. Let's go to February. Let's just go to February. Let's take our little ruler and where the line intersects. Okay. So you see in February, Costco's has it's a big stock price, $8.99. Sorry, that's where it is today. It was $980, right? Oops, let me go there in February. Oh, it's 1,000. It went up on the news that they were keeping their DEI. It went all the way up to 1075. Now it has gone down. I'm not sure why it dropped. So it's taken a major plunge. It's lost 50. It's lost $70 in shares, but came back up and it's gone back down. So it's slightly against the trend of the market. But also what they mentioned on the graph, Ratner, if you ever follow Mr. Ratner, his information, he's a great Wall Street chartist and economic, really, he was part of the economic team for Obama's team. Ratner, Rattner. He says that Costco's, a lot of companies are going to be hurt, right, with the tariffs. So their prices are going to go high, right, across the board. However, the outlook on Costco's pricing is not to go up as high. So you might find refuge in Costco. Costco's products, just like a lot of private, like Trader Joe's, was able to keep their prices low because of the way their dynamics, how their company is created. Trader Joe's is also a DEI company, even though they're a German company and overseas. But Costco, they said there would be some changes in some of the prices, but it won't be as extreme as other because of the safeguards that Costco has with vendors. Interesting. We'll maybe dive into that one day, but if you are someone that's also supporting Costco memberships, most people have left all the others and have now moved to Costco's. Another reason to stick with Costco's. Their prices are not predicted to move as high as the rest of the industry. I've taken up too much of your time. Let's go to let me go to the thing that you guys are really in here sharing. I love it. Jazzy says, yes, Ron. Let me pop this off. She says, yes, Ron. A lot of companies are restructuring how it is implemented, which is why we have to be careful of jumping ship from these companies without reading how it's being done. Yes. Their foot traffic has gone up. Ron, I'm watching you on my TV today. You look very handsome. You are super up close. It's definitely a better experience on the TV. Thank you, Lisa. I don't know how to deal with compliments. Jazzy says, if these companies have federal contracts, they have to comply with the executive order. Companies are trying to work around it to make it work. Yes. So that's something to know. Jazzy says, Leah says, Jazzy, they all have to make code words so that they won't get penalized because they can be fined now. Lisa says, okay, who wants to share a Costco membership with me? I was saying the same thing this morning. I said, I'm going to team up with some of my neighbors and we can share Costco's. And for those that don't know, you can become a Costco member through your Instacart, which I'm a member of. Instacart, you can do that and put your Costco's card on that and order through your Costco card through Instacart. Just saying, just saying. Also, Warren says he's trying to make other countries abide by the DEI policies in order to do business in America, but people are not buying it. People are not doing it. Eldridge, what's going on, Eldridge? I see you there. Eldridge Dunmore. How you doing, sir? So good to see you. Chris Edwards, Costco's has also changed some vendors to keep the prices down. Costco's is working overtime. Jazzy says, Lisa, correct, and they can lose their contracts without removing these programs. And a lot of these cases is hundreds of millions of dollars. Bryce says, I remember MTV Movie Awards. Okay, I'll move from that. I thought Target restructuring there as well. Yes. Okay. Last thing, and I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to let you guys go because it's Motivation Monday, and I got to let you guys have your Motivation Monday for the week. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Motivation Monday. And we are talking about photographing the altering life and what that means. Okay, here we go. Can we get that in there? Okay, good job. So the quote for today, let me just get Chrissy. Oh, let me pump that back there. Sorry about that. There we go. And let me get Chrissy's off the board here. There we go. Okay, so the quote for the week. We know we are all you guys are photography. This is to inspire you as you go through the week in your photography. Okay, Dorothea Lange's quote. Photography takes an instant out of time, altering life by holding it still. Such a small quote, but so powerful to we creatives, but mainly we photographers. We photographers. Photography takes an instant out of time. I want to say it one more time. Photography takes an instant out of time, altering life by holding it still. Profoundly my brain here. Profoundly encapsulates the transformative power of photography. It's not merely above documenting a moment, but reshaping how we perceive it. By freezing an instant, photography allows us to reflect on emotions, narratives, and nuances that might have been fleeting in real life. You see, I had to slow it down. My brain my brain was like on fire. I had to slow it down. The role of photography in storytelling. Each photograph holds a narrative, the vibrant energy of an event, the quiet elegance of a still life, or the raw emotions captured in a candid moment. Photography doesn't just preserve memories, it heightens them, creating an opportunity to connect more deeply with the subject. Let me pause there because it's definitely something. I mean, think about all the photos that you've seen in your life. The ones that you remember are the ones that move you. The ones that you remember are the ones that make you feel. So, but again, the beauty of photography, and when you use that camera, when you use these smartphones and you put on your camera, you are like a magician. You are freezing time. You are freezing expressions. You are freezing emotions. You are freezing the moment. Each photography holds a narrative. especially when you freeze it in time. Next, we can explore how photography invites us to revisit moments with fresh perspectives. A photo taken in a bustling street might initially feel chaotic, like we do when we're in Wall Street area downtown, in the financial district, or you're in Times Square, or you're in Union Square, or you're photographing a protest. Still, upon closer inspection, it reveals layers and details, or layered details, the expressions of passerbys, the textures of the environment, or the play of light and shadow. It's this ability to pause and absorb what that altering life speaks to. You ever notice you can take these massive photos? I do them a lot because I like to take pictures of crowds. And then you take a moment and just like go through all the people in the crowd and just kind of like look at their expressions, look at their facial expressions. What are they doing? What are they doing with their hands? Freezing those moments. There's more than meets the eye. There's more than just the crowd. There's more than just the whole bunch of buildings photographed. Like say the cityscapes. You go out and you photograph your city's skyline. But then in the midst of taking that picture of your skyline, if you go into the details, you start seeing every building for what it is. You see each piece, each building, the architecture, how it marries with other buildings in the skyline. Yes, there's an overall view, even in the collective. Photography can be used as a tool for connection. Here's a question to you guys, to all of us, I should say. How has photography helped you see something anew? That's why we go to art galleries. That's why we go to exhibitions. Photography shows us things that are anew. What emotions did you freeze in time with your last photograph? And how did holding that moment still alter your perception of the subject? Lange's words remind us that as photographers, we're not just capturing, we're creating. And in that creation, we influence the lens through which life is seen. So there's your quote for the week. Think about what you do as a photographer. Even you may, again, a lot of folks say, oh, I'm just a smartphone photographer. You're still a photographer. If you take pictures of your family, you're still a photographer. So get out there, use your cameras this week. Use your cameras. Get out there, photograph something that means something to you, or something that you've been interested in for decades and you just never took the time to photograph it. Maybe it's a flower and looking at all the details of the petals. Maybe again, like we said, it's a skyline. You live near a magnificent skyline. LA has a great skyline. Atlanta has a skyline. New York has a skyline. Boston has a skyline. Chicago has a skyline. Or maybe it's just the hustle and bustle of the folks leaving work during the rush hour. Or there's people on the train. Or there's people gathered for a rally. You are freezing time. You are freezing time. Emotions, nuances, attitudes, beauty, things that are not so beautiful. But you have it all. You have the power. You have the power all in this device. You have the power to freeze time. Okay, guys, It's time to let you guys go. It's almost 12:30. I know that these shows last around 12:15 to 12:30. That's just who we are. We got a lot to say. You got a lot to say. So I always like having your conversation on the board. It's so important to share what you guys are sharing. He says, I'm glad it was helpful. That's all I really wanted, was to help my community be a bit more financially independent. Yes, I will love to hear your testimony. Dr. Chuddy says, I always love your perspective, Ron. She says, Lisa Celia, the savings challenge was so great. Jazzy, I love that freeze time. Yes. Lisa says, that phone you just lifted will be $3,000 soon. That's why I bought mine last month. In February. That's why I bought it. They said the average phone will be these Apple phones, because almost every part of the Apple phone is made in China or Korea or some other country. This little device is going to be so expensive to have. That's why I got mine. It's the last one I'll probably buy in the next 5 years. So there you have it. Kimmy sends loves and hearts. Mimi says, Ron, I need tips on cleaning up the background on camera photos. Let's chat. We can do that. We can do it. People send me, you'd be surprised how many people send me little notes of how to help them with their photography. I get notes all the time. Some people in this community have sent me notes. So don't be afraid to send me notes. I'm here to serve you. That's my job. That's what I love to do. I am here to help you. I am not here to just hang out and just just trying to be an online influencer. That is not my job. My goal, my purpose is to help you become better photographers and more insightful in what's going on around you. Right? That's my purpose. If I can use these opportunities that are happening in life to educate you, I will do it. That's how I'm wired. That is how I am wired. Jetty says, LMBO, I'm laughing too quiet from crying. Keep from crying. 3,000 for a bloody phone. The devil is a liar. That sounds like one of the church ladies. Lisa Seeley says, and that's why they are dying to get our Wakandan vibranium. Dr. Tachi, facts. Hey, look who else is in the building. Daisy is in the building. I'm not paying $3,000 for a damn phone. You will if you need one. If this tariff thing doesn't happen, or if Congress doesn't wake up and say we need to stop this president, you will be paying $3,000 if you need a phone. And it looks like most of us need a phone. Right? Okay, guys, thank you for joining me today. I hope you got something out. Oh, wait, I forgot. Y'all want to see something? Do y'all want to see something? I have something for you. Hold on. Let me do this. This is gonna be the first time doing it live. So I want you to check this out.
True well-being lies in the magic of Manuka. Pure and powerful, Manuka well-being Manuka honey will elevate your wellness, naturally. Our sustainably sourced, golden goodness aids with digestive health, immunity boosting and is antibacterial. Manuka well-being, wellness has never been sweeter. True well-being.
And that was one of our sponsors. That was really cool, right? A whole commercial right there. I just throw it right in there. And so that is someone that that's our Dr. Tachi. Dr. Tachi, her sister has a business, and Dr. Tachi is a big supporter of this platform. So the least I could do is give her some props. That's from one of our major sponsors, Dr. Tachi and the Indie Soup folks and her family. sells honey. So I was able to share that as a commercial. Look at that in my program. I love it. I love it being able to do that. But I'm going to give myself some props as well. How about that? Also, guys, where are we on this screen here? Why is my screen old? There we go. And also other major supporter of our what we do here, Patreon member, top tier on the Patreon member, Rolling Clouds. They support our business. They are a tobacco company, and not tobacco, but cigar. Let me just be specific. Cigar company, and they'll be launching this spring. Sorry, this summer. So excited about that. And if you want to become a Patreon member or be a part of our YouTube channel, join and just come in and just hit on those likes and stuff. Also, we have our join our email list, that as well, the email listings. So do that if you want to be on our mailing list. I do not send like wasteful mail. I don't send out a lot of emails, but I would like to have it just in case we need to do it. And so there you have it. Okay. And also, I am an event photographer. And if you need event photography done with family, friends, or your corporation, reach out to me. I do this that's how I make my money, is as being an event photographer. There you have it. And there I am. I had to get those commercials in because this is my let people know what we do. But isn't that cool about the commercial with Dr. Tachi's sister? And she and her sister have a business selling honey. And it's one of the best honeys in the world, Manuka. Did I say it right, Dr. Tachi? Dr. Tachi says, Ron, your honey is getting to you on Wednesday. Awesome. But but that's what this is also, can I just say that about this platform? We have a community here, right? Now, 92,000 people see this, what we do here every month, right? 92,000. Which sometimes ranges 66,000 to 92,000, right? Sees what we do here. That's a lot of eyeballs. That's a lot of eyeballs, right? And then that's not including when we are on repeat on the Indie Soup Media. That's 25,000 eyeballs or subscribers. Now going on 26,000. Or are we at 27? Can't remember. I think still gaining so many people. But that's just the subscribers. That's not how many eyeballs are seeing us every day. So if it's just, we only have 600 subscribers, 660 subscribers here on our platform. Yeah, our subscribers. And we get about 60, like I said, between 66,000 to 92,000 eyeballs per 30 days. Right? So you could use this platform, again, support what we do here, because we can support each other. As long as we got this platform, as long as we here, and as long as the eyeballs looking at us, we can do all kinds of stuff, right? But you have to support. And look, I would say the subscribers should have a nice rate to be able to put their products up, and we don't do that all the time, but we could do it once in a while, once a week, twice a week. We can figure it out. But this is your platform. You do it. You do with it what you will. So that was good, right? Dr. Lee says, Dr. Tachi, I was just looking at Manuka Honey yesterday. Well, now you know. Go check out Dr. Tachi. She sells it. She and her sister have a company. There you go. Lisa says, Dr. Tachi, we all will support you. I'll get a honey. She'll get a honey. He'll get a honey. Everyone will get a honey. Lisa needs a show. Lisa needs a show. I'm still waiting for Lisa to come on once a week, at least once a week. Lisa needs a segment. That's what I'm saying. Lisa needs a segment. Okay. I think it's time to let you guys go, right? Okay. We get so caught up. But I love being with you guys. Manuka is great honey. It is the best honey in the world. It really is. And Shirley says, I need the link for the honey. We'll put the link inside the description. So Dr. Tachi, please, I already have the link. I think I have the link, but please send me the link again. So that way I can put it in the link in the description. Lisa, Dr. Tachi says, Lisa, you need a whole segment. She certainly does. Lisa has a lot to say. Lisa has a whole lot to say and a lot of wisdom. So y'all need to tune in, tap into Lisa. Okay, guys. Hey, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's Tip Tuesday. We'll have a photography tip on how to better use these little smartphones and also photography skills. We're gonna combine the two. So that's tomorrow. We'll be doing that. And I do believe Wednesday we have a guest coming on. So we got a guest coming on Wednesday. I think you're gonna love him. And he started his business from scratch, smoothie company, and is doing amazing things with that. And also is a writer and has published his book. And his book has been has circulated so many places in the world. And also he is a film producer. So he'll be popping on this Wednesday. Okay, so we got a nice full week ahead. So let's do this together. Let's do life together, y'all. We're in this together. Dr. Tachi, if anyone is interested, DM me. Our website is still being worked on. Okay, there you go. Just DM Dr. Tachi. Okay, there you go. We need honey links to support. Just reach out to Dr. Tachi. I'll give you her reach. How you can connect with Dr. Tachi. Okay, here we go. I'm out of here, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on our Touch Base Daily. And make sure you hit the likes, make sure you hit the comments, and share. Share what we do here. I think we are giving you something. We are giving you good content. I do believe we're giving you good content. And Cass says, we always take photos of the skyline and nature on our walks outside. Love it. Dr. Tachi says, great show. Lisa says, have a great day. Okay, guys. Later. Love ya. Enjoy. Hello, and thank you for joining us today. Make sure you hit the like, the subscribe, and leave a comment on this video. I would love to hear from you. Thank you again. Until I see you next time.